Hey everybody, this is David with Design Build Go, and today we are going to talk about some bull bars real quick. So we do a lot of different bull bars. You see this owl one back here, and then the signature one that's all wrapped up. And kind of those are built, they're kind of furnished in one state, one piece assembly, cover plates over the bolts and things. And then we'll come over, and for this rig, what we're going to be doing is doing the sub-assembly of the GP Factor bull bar. So you essentially get two boxes, and we're going to walk you through what that takes to assemble. And then on this truck here, in this Grenadier, we're going to be doing the entire GP winch kit, and then we'll be adding the bull bar. So we'll kind of show you what it all looks like at the end, but this is a good before. And then we'll walk you through building the sub-assembly of this set. Then we'll set it aside, and once I do the winch, we'll be able to put it back on. What do you think, Mike? Think that's a good plan? Yeah, he thinks that's an awesome plan. He can't wait to see it go together. His enthusiasm is hardly contained. All right, so as we unbox these, this larger box here has this on the bottom, which are the side pieces, obviously. And then we've got the center section and some hardware. And then the smaller box that's over here has these two center stanchions that are basically going to kind of hold it all together. So what we're going to do next is lay out all of our hardware, inventory everything, and then prepare all of our tools. So just an organized approach to get it all going. And we'll lay that out and show you what it's going to take to put this together. All right, so if you're looking for the instructions, you don't get printed ones. You get this QR code you can scan, or you can go to the GP Factor website and you can download these instructions. So I like the bigger instructions than trying to look on my phone, so I just go to the website and find it on gpfactor.com. All right, guys, as you've watched my videos, you see I'm big on laying everything out and getting it ready. And we see, like on these M10 washers, somehow we're going to be short one. Somehow that ended up in that portion of the bag. So we're missing one of these. So that'll be a run to the hardware store. So we're missing one of these M10s. We've got everything we need for the M12s. And then let's see, we've got everything we need for the M6s in two different lengths. So that'll slow us down for sure, but we'll be able to recover on that. But knowing what you have from the beginning is important, so you don't lose your mind later when you're missing something. So in all the projects, kind of lay out, be prepared, figure out what you have before you really get going. All right, so one of the things I like to do is reuse a lot of this packing materials that I get from other projects. So in this case, we're just going to make sure we don't scratch any of the bull bar as we're putting it together, because I've got it face down. So, you know, just be careful what surface you are, because you don't want to damage it. And as you go to put these in, you'll notice that these tapers are towards the grill, you know, on the inside of the rig over here. So you're going to want to have those on the inside for both. Pretty straightforward. We took off the caps already, and then we'll take these off. But again, I'm going to do that in a little bit later, because I'm doing the winch as well. So I've got this one lined up, and as you can see, you know, we've got our holes lined up there and there on the inside. And this kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like. We're going to put the other bar in over there. But some key things to look at is we're going to go in with these M12s in here, okay? But even when you get these, there's really the right way to do these is use that writing. You'll see it kind of is stamped. So I like the outer portion to be smoother. And then on these bolts, these indicators, these lock indicators, should be on the outside. So they'll be like as such. So, okay, let's put that together. So we got both of these set up as they're supposed to be. And again, contours towards the inside, right? We got everything set up, ready to go. We are leaving these just like finger tight for now. All four of these, a little less than finger tight there, but what we're going to do is just leave that finger tight, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to start disassembling these 8 bolts that hold the bumpers on. And we're going to replace these and we'll set it on. We'll show you how that works. So we got both of these set up as they're supposed to be. And again, contours towards the inside, right? We got everything set up, ready to go. We are leaving these just like finger tight for now. All 4 of these, a little less than finger tight there, but what we're going to do is just leave that finger tight, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to start disassembling these 8 bolts that hold the bumpers on, and we're going to replace these and we'll set it on. We'll show you how that works. Okay, so we got the winch installed. So we've got our GP winch in there. Everything's set to go on there. So what it is, take the assembly and set it up. And again, this stuff's still loose. See how I'm kind of jiggling it? That's going to be tightened later. Next couple steps we're going to do first is run in these bolts in the front. And so what you end up doing is, I've got this just mocked up. I use these threaded rods to make it a little bit easier for myself to kind of line them. So you've got a longer bolt. Longer bolt's going to go in here. And then you've got comparatively your shorter bolt will go down in here. So we're going to get those set, and then you've got a longer bolt and a shorter bolt for the top. Longer bolt's going to go on the inside down in here, and then the other one goes out there, and then you've got 2 for the bottom that'll go on the underside. So we'll get those all squared away, but the order is first let's get all these, hold the bumper on, let's go do the top 2, and then we'll follow up with closing up and align bottom 2. We're not going to tighten any of these really tight, because just leave them finger tight. Let's get everything aligned first, and then we're going to lay out how does it fit and how does it look, and then start tightening from there. All right, so we're done. We got everything tightened up. So describe the final things are here and here, and again, paying attention to these. There's 3 marks, triangle marks that head outward. So anyways, tighten those babies up and you're done, and you can check it all out. One of the things I really like about this is I like the spacing here is nice. That's in line. If you look down the truck, pokes out a little bit, but that's cool. I like when they poke out because then you kind of deflect debris and whatnot. This, out of all the bull bars, is probably the tightest to the grill. So the owl one comes out a little further, and then the signature one's a little further than that, but the signature one comes out along the front. But that gives you a nice idea what it looks like, and you can see what brand it is with the GP there. Pretty trick. And then I think they make a couple different bars that you can get. And I saw some at Overland Expo East. I saw some mounts where they're putting some LP9s to fill up this space. So those are different versions of the bar. So, but overall, pretty nice. I like how it sits. Goes really easily with the winch as well. So overall, pretty good look. Like it. So I think Terry's gonna love it. Looks good. Pretty tight setup.